Hello, we're back again to look for a trade. There's news right now, 2 p.m. news. Let's let the news play out, and then let's see if we can get an entry. Um, Still setting up some screens, but just to record, I've got everything else, so we should be good. Ah, okay, everybody. So we're back. Um, what I'll do is I'll erase everything off the chart. And let's look at just analysis and think. So A trade is level based, B trade is macro based, C trade is just price action. We don't take those. Consolidating day reversal, A setups, trading day continuation, B setups. Okay, so what that means is, right, there was an A setup here, previous day high sell, right? And B setup here, the macro high sell, macro high sell, macro high sell, 50% macro sell, macro high sell, macro high sell, possibly 50% of the macro sell. All right, so those are just some entries that could have been taken based on using the level. So like let's say here, even if you took this one, you would have still not been stopped if you took that sell. Um, Obviously, we're close to previous day's high. Uh, there may be an opportunity for us to run previous day's high again, find support, and then buy up based on macros, based on the previous day high level. So maybe that will be what we're looking for. We're probably not looking for a sell-off considering that the news candle just came and didn't really do much. So currently we're waiting to see if we potentially can have um, very specifically, let's see if we clear these lows to then clear these highs to then retest the highs to then buy up. Or potentially we've already cleared the lows here and there's no lows to be cleared and then we just continue up. The long and short of it is we're technically bullish on the day. If you can see, we're bullish. Doesn't mean you couldn't have won a sell trade or whatever, but we're bullish on the day. We're coming into after lunch. We chopped basically the whole lunch. So essentially, if this was the higher low, right? This is the higher low, protected low at this point. We may not get the clearance of it. We may just head up. And there's no level based trades to take here. It would only be macro based trades. So buying the 50%, buying the high on the retest, those would be the buy side trades that would be possible if that's what we were looking to do. We've been bullish on the day, so I suspect that we may have a bearish move, then a bullish push up, or if we just go straight bullish, then a retest of that key level, previous day's high, to then possibly go higher, previous day's high. So you have an indicator. It's called previous OHLC by Uncle Sam, Nephew Sam. So then that'll tell you the previous day's high, but we've already swept this low here, so maybe we will sweep this low. We don't have to, right? But maybe we will sweep that low, and maybe that will help us. But today may turn out to be a no trade day because since I've been at the computer, the only entry that came at a level was here at 12:21, which I wasn't at the computer, and then these happened before 10, so I missed them. So it's not like there was so many trades to take, and we're basically just in consolidation. Like this entire thing is basically just consolidation right here. Now we did sweep this equal low here, so that could be it to go up. We are staying above 50% of this bullish push up, so maybe that is just going to go up. If we stay above the bullish push, right, 150%, staying above, so that is a reason why we could go up. But seeing as how we just started at 2, there was a news release. I was trying to see if we were going to sweep more forms of liquidity other than just this equal low right here, because we swept this equal low. I thought maybe we might sweep the lower equal lows, but technically that may be enough here. Um, we're sitting at a macro 50% level. If you look closely, like here, this is the macro 50% right here. So you could form a trade here if you really wanted to. To me, it wouldn't really make sense just considering that with news recently coming in, we could say that maybe there's a news what's it called? It swept the news high and now it's targeting the news low. That's a potential, right? Because the news candle was this yellow candle right here. So maybe we swept the high and we're targeting the low. Maybe we're targeting these equal lows. That's what I'm interested in seeing. And maybe just a spike down just to, create some liquidity before shooting above previous day's high would also be possible. So there's a few different scenarios which could happen. MNQ seems to be at previous day's high right now, and YM seems to be near midnight open. So it already turned away from its previous day's high a while ago. Let me see. But again, we just be patient, wait to see what we can see. This is consolidation, so we don't have to get mad about not finding a trade in there. All right, we don't have to force a trade because a day where you don't trade is damn near a winning day because you've maintained your drawdown. Unless there was just so many good entries and I just got scared, but I mean, I don't think it was just so many good entries. There were entries that could have gave 5 points, but as far as just like A plus level setups that I really wanted, I can't say that there were so many of those. There was literally one A plus setup where you sold, but you'd have to have the limit order and then mostly Bs. And then what's odd about today is that, I would want to take the Bs to continue, but most of the Bs, like other than right here, they didn't have much continuation in the bullish sense. So it's a little sticky day. Not saying it's not possible, but you really just gotta look yourself in the mirror and say, oh, am I gonna force this or am I just gonna chill? What's up, everybody? Any comments? Any questions? I don't want to seem boring, but that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking to break out of this consolidation, find support to buy it up, or to take these equal lows down here. All right, we already took this equal low, so we may not even come back, but we could. The thesis to why we could come back is this Newswick high. This is a news it's called data high. Data high, data high, right? And then we had data low. Data low is the bottom of the candle that created news. That's a concept you guys can use. Data low. So you got data high, data low, right? And the overall context is if we're still bullish, right? We can come all the way down, sweep this, still go up, right? So for me, I wouldn't just buy at the top of the consolidation. I'm gonna wait until we get to sweep something. Turtle soups and consolidation are the best trades. So technically, if you looked at it a certain type of way, like this is a turtle soup, this is a turtle soup, this is like another little turtle soup, another little turtle soup. Even this sweeping this area could be a turtle soup. This sweeping this area could be a turtle soup. So when you're looking at a market that isn't kind of like a consolidation, there's a lot of turtle soup trades you can take. But if I don't have a specific level to back it up, like this one had previous day's high, that was cool. The other ones are more macro based, and some of them are not even macro. They're just like OTE or fair value gap kind of trades. But based on how we were moving, I wasn't interested in those because I just didn't want to get chopped up trying to catch 5 points. Because this last chop right here just chop a lot of people up trying to catch the 5 points. So be patient, be diligent, be thoughtful about what we're trying to do. A trade is level based. There was only one A trade that happened so far today. B trade is macro based. There was a few of them. But the macro based trades, a lot of them didn't align with the directional bias. So if I'm saying it's a macro based trade, if I'm going from after 10, bullish, right? The let's say we wanted to buy the 50% level. We didn't get it. We got it on NQ, so it could have been SMC on NQ. And then when price came up to the level, you can see how if you had bought, it's kind of like it kind of struggled, and you may have been stopped depending on where you got in. Then the new macro came, and then finally at the top of that macro there was like a retest buy potential. But at the same time, you'd have to be comfortable having your stop right there at the 50% level for 5 points. And then as prices going up, these macros weren't honored as much as I would like. So that makes it a little bit shaky, if we're being honest. Today may result in a no trade day because I wasn't there at 9:30 to catch the best possible trades. So we may just have a no trade day depending on what happens. But we got the data high, data low, relevant because that's that 2 o'clock news driver, right? And we've got this consolidation or this range. We've been going bullish, so we're overall bullish. We could type that up. Overall bullish. We're overall bullish. That's it. And certain stuff like that might save you from getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you did a break and retest on the data high. Cool. And that could work for you, but I want to see how we're going to react with previous day's high because it's still 2 hours before market close. So I have a feeling that if we breach previous day's high, we will be able to get a nice retest for an entry. Probably buying below it will be the safer decision, but I want to see a breakout and pull back, and then I'll participate in the market in a sense because we've already swept this equal low here. So maybe this fair value gap just takes price up, and we don't have to sweep any more equal lows, right? So because this is a balanced, now that price came back here, this entire range is balanced. This range is balanced. So that's just to say that yeah, there's an open gap here, but all these other gaps up here, one, two, they got used potentially. So it just depends how you look at the market. If you're trading ICT concepts, if you're trading ICT concepts, I'm focused. Hey, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Shadow N3. Yeah, this stream isn't super exciting because we're just in a range, and I'm not actually motivated to take a trade because there's only one level here, and we probably have to flip that level to go bullish. So maybe on the retest slightly below that level, I will be interested, but it's not an exciting or strictly like it doesn't look promising. I'm just saying the basis of why I might take the trade, but it doesn't look great. Again, I'm trading funded accounts. I have a lot of accounts going. This is just me showing the trading view. Once I enter, you'll be able to see the entry and exit on the trading view. But again, my best setups are A trade is level based, B trade is macro based, C trade is just price action, don't take. So a lot of trades I wouldn't have taken just because there's no level or I'm not really sure about the macro. So like here, fine, we had a macro retest for a buy, cool. But again, like if you wanted to be a continuation buyer here, that failed. So then once we got above it, maybe you can be a retest buyer here, and maybe that worked. But you have to really be cognizant about which macro high low you're going to use, and just be patient. Just be really patient on a day where we're not using many of the levels because we've used most of the levels on ES down here. All right, so this is before the 9:30. This is 10 o'clock right here. So down here we have a macro buy. Down here we have 8:30 buy under 8:30. We have a retest of 8:30 with the fair value gap and the breaker. So that would have been the best trade of the day at 9:51 if you're present. And then right now it looks like we're going to be breaking out bullish. Let's see. And that might be it. Depending if we don't get a nice retest, that might be it for the day. Unless we find a macro that we're gonna, take a trade off of. What's good, Matt? How you doing? Haven't taken any trades yet. Overall bullish. The problem is we've only got one level right here that is an A plus level. Previous day's high. We've already sold off it. Sometimes I'll take the second retest, but on a bullish day, I'm thinking that we're gonna actually go bullish. and come back and find support. The reason I think we're bullish is because I have to literally scroll back and scroll down to even look at the chart. So bullish in London, although we consolidated most of New York, we came bullish towards the end of New York. Lunch session, we eventually traded up, and then now we're heading into PM session basically. Slowly but surely, it looks like we're trading up. So this might be the higher low right here. Another higher low, another higher low. Let's see if we can honor those and go further higher. What's up, Macamil? I hope you're doing well. Macamil, I hope you're doing good. We're just patiently waiting for a setup, maybe a macro trade. Typically, we want to trade a levels based trade. Like if I scroll back to yesterday, you can see how much level based trades there were versus today. So like yesterday, we had the 830 retest for a sell off. Also, this previous day's high was around here yesterday. It was this level right here. So yesterday we had a lot more interaction with levels. So it was a better day to trade that day, right? That was a previous day's high, sell. What's up? And then the 830 sell here. Macro retest sell. London high is this blue line, right? I don't have it labeled, but that's the indicator. London high, blue line sell. And I took London high to midnight open. I just caught this and it melted further. You could have did midnight open down to further levels, targeting previous day's low, which we eventually hit because previous day's low is like here, I believe. If not right here actually. So we hit previous day's low, went a bit further, swept that to then go bullish for the day, the next day. So then now we want to be bullish, but the only way to get bullish is seems like we're far from every level. So we need a retest of the previous day high level, right? So we need a breakout retest of it or a macro buy. So like maybe one macro buy we missed was this one right here because price traded up above the 50% level of the macro, found support, and that could have been a buy up. We're slowly but surely closing above this level, so let's see if we can get above the previous day high to then give us more confirmation. But again, we're looking overall bullish. Not many A trades. Yep, I'm not on NQ anymore. It's too volatile. ES is Bay. ES is more predictable. ES is more reliable. It's easier to put risk on. I understand it better now because before I was just thinking it doesn't move enough, but in reality, NQ just moves too much. And I still can look at NQ and get an understanding for what ES might be doing, but sometimes they're not even coupled, so the SMT doesn't even work. But today the SMT would have worked off of like this buy down here. It didn't hit 50% of the macro, but on NQ it did. So let's take a look at NQ really quick. So on NQ, right, we look at it from a objective perspective. It came in the day, right? Hella macros. This is 830 line. Buying under 830 would have worked. Retest of macros to buy up. Midnight open buy stop would have worked. London high, that buy stop could have worked. And then after that, you'd have to take a macro buy here or a macro buy here. As well here on the pullback behind the macro high, could have been a potential buy on the retest. And then finally on these macros here, price went down to the low, could have bought, potentially got stopped. On the retest, could buy with a fair value gap right here to then potentially go up. And then now we're in the macro highs. We found buys. Even the news respected that macro high on NQ. So that's a sign. But just based on how price action looks, I'm not going to read too much into it. I still think we're bullish in a sense. I just want to see a certain type of entry. But if I don't get that, I'll just be on the sideline like I was majority of the day. And getting more comfortable having a no trade day is very key, especially if you realize like your A plus setup's barely formed. So I would have only had one sell limit potential off of previous day's high, which I would be super hesitant towards because I see how bullish we are. So I wouldn't just be putting a limit there with a stop because I would be scared that we're gonna run it, which we didn't run it, but it's too late. So um some streams they immediately get in trades and they show all this price action you can trade. There is price action to trade. If you traded this fair value gap right here, if you bought in this fair value gap, right, there's opportunity to trade up, right? My reason for not buying there is because I don't see the macro that I like. Like the macro's up here, it's not down here. I don't see a level. The level's up here. There's no other level there, right? Even this line is from like yesterday's previous day's high. So maybe it is support or whatever, but I'm looking for more relevant recent levels in a sense, to confirm certain things. So we may just pop above previous day's high very aggressively and not get a retest. And then if that happens, we just accept it and we close it up for the day and we move on. But that's how trading works. You just gotta kind of really be patient and disciplined. Don't feed into the, oh, I gotta catch every trade scenario and I gotta catch every trade. It's not true. You gotta really just save your capital. Most people are just blowing their accounts trying to take every single trade, but it's not really worth it. But that
Order submitted.
oh shit, that's an accident.
Order canceled.
I want to make sure that was an accident. I didn't mean to put that on there. But fair value gap, the data low is down here. Could have bought in the fair value gap, rode it to the equal highs up here. So internal to external, that was a potential trade you could have taken if you're focused. But here's a macro low, so technically you could have used that macro low. It's all how you want to formulate your combinations. It's like each trade is like a combination of a few things. And my highest winning combination, where I go on heavy win streaks, are eight level based trades. So previous day high sell, previous day low buy, London high sell, London low buy. Those are kind of like the trades. So like even this day, or earlier today, like that London low trade from back here, didn't get it, right? But it's okay. It's okay. Certain trades we're not going to catch them all. But if you watch your mainstream, you probably see a more in-depth analysis of most of these things because there's so many PD arrays to mark up. But I don't see the point in marking up all the PD arrays if my levels aren't really relevant. If that makes sense, like I don't want to read into just price action. That's a C trade. I'm not just trying to take price action. You might be, that might work for you, but that's not me. And I think Charmaine does more than that. He uses levels, he uses new day opening gap, new week opening gap. So there's more concepts to it than just trading price action. But that's the main, catalyst. But still, like what levels are you using? So for value gap on top of macro high, okay, you bought it. Cool. Been straight. Price hit previous day's high again, wicked it. Slight sell off. Let's see if it continues to trend down or if it's gonna stop. So the only two trades I could have taken as a sell would have been the first sell off of the previous day high and the second, because those are the only ones I take, the first or the second reaction. I'm not taking the third. I'm not taking the fourth. But why would I take these two if I believe the day to be bullish? I wouldn't. On certain counter trending days, it would be possible. On a ranging day, it'd be possible. But considering that we started the day just going bullish, I don't think it makes sense to be selling that. So let's just see if we can get above those levels, retest them, and then we get in alignment with the trend for something that may trend for the next few hours or for at least one more hour before a wick is created for the day. But if we're digging in deeper, we have a volume imbalance right here. Volume imbalance. And I gotta change how this looks. It doesn't look good. But a volume imbalance, and then we put it text right bottom. There's a volume imbalance right here that could send price up without us having to do too much else. And then there's also another volume. There's a lot of things you can mark up essentially. That's why I don't like just marking up too much price action on the lower time frame. If we start on the 15-minute just to look, like let's say from a higher time frame perspective, if we're tracing price, right? So what do we have on the day? We had, this is London low to London high. We got down to 50% of London low. That's the discount. We found support. We bought. Cool. Goes above these levels, right? So then what's next? You're anticipating a potential retracement back down to this fair value gap. We didn't get that. That means it's a breakaway gap. And then once that gap is established, you've got to now use this wick as a fair value gap because you can see that the other one before didn't get interacted with. So now if price stays above 50% of that wick, we're bullish for the day. These are just concepts ICT teaches. So you can believe it or not, whatever. Respected the 50%, we're bullish, cool. So then we're going up, and then there's two fair value gaps, one here. These are 15 minutes, right? One right here. So price stopped here. Sign we're heavily bullish, you know. We're on the 5 minute time frame. I'm sure you could find other reasons to take it. I think we labeled it on the 1 minute as the macro high as well, or close to the macro high. But it's a give and take, bro. It's we're you guys are watching me in consolidation. So I'm not gonna pull the trigger just cause. So if you're looking for someone to be just in trades, you have to go to another stream. This stream is more so just about observing and kind of seeing, and I will take a trade if it presents, but the probability is very low at this point, just based on us having to do. The only scenario I would like is gonna be like um going above here and then going like that. If we go above there and we go like this, I probably miss it. If we don't just stop right here, if we go deep, I probably miss it. But today's price action wasn't as fruitful for me as it may have been for some of you. If you were in early, you probably were able to get in those buys and you're good, you're just sitting great. And then, you know what I'm saying, like hypothetically, right? Let's say we're thinking like we're the market maker. Everybody's getting in buys, right? Or at first everyone was getting in selling London high. We trap them, and we sweep their highs, right? We trap them in there. Anybody who had buys here, we take their stops. So now we shoot up to go bullish. Pull back, slide up, right? So then as we're going up, can barely get back down to 50% of the bullish range. That's a sign we're super bullish. Then when we form this consolidation range, I'm gonna erase all this stuff. Once we form this consolidation range, and then we sweep this equal low right here, that means that we don't have to go any lower. We could we could shuffle up, right? It's just a probabilities game. So what's the probability? Probability is we may just trend up slightly like this and do this. But if we do trend down deeper, maybe I'll buy down here. So either I'm buying right here or I'm buying right here. I'm not buying anywhere here. Why? Because there's something to understand about your levels you're using. So the levels I want to use are previous day's high, which is right here, right? And then additionally, there's a macro low here and there's equal low here. So if we do sweep the equal low and we find support under the macro, that might be a great buy to then follow into the previous day high buy, considering the second time we came back to previous day's high, we didn't react as aggressively as some would think if we're a seller. Doesn't mean that we can't come take the equal lows here because it's 228. So 230 can come in and sweep the equal lows, right? Liquidity has to be created to allow us to move within price. But a lot of consolidation, still trades people could have taken. Um, Price still at all-time high. Exactly, price still at all-time high. So why not prepare a trade to get into the all-time high as opposed to trying to short the all-time high? It's tough. And then if you look at like ES and NQ, they're on a whole different type of timing, kind of. We're back. We're back under the data high. I pull up NQ. We're back under the data high on NQ. What did the YM do? YM, we're in the middle of the data high, data low. YM's not really correlating properly with these other ones today. But yeah, MNQ is like we're already above previous days high. So maybe slight retracement there to match up with ES and then both of them run up. But like I said, I'm not doing a trade here in the middle. The trade will have to come from the trade. I'm not doing a trade here in the middle. The trade's gonna have to come from down here or up here, break and retest. Because there's just too much room in between these levels to where price can still trail down and then go all the way back up. So I want to see a more definitive reaction to make a decision. But Sitting on your hands is, it seems like it's easy, like, oh, just don't take a trade. It's like, that's the hard part, because you're on a stream and you want to prove you could do this and that and that. But in reality, man, proving discipline is more important than proving I could put on a whole bunch of trades. It's easy to go DJ and look at my last Friday stream. It's easy to go DJ and just put on a whole bunch of trades. It's hard to sit here in a consolidation market and determine what trades you might take, and then don't trade anything in between that. Just respecting what you say you're going to do. It's not easy, but it's something that we have to do if we want to become a higher level trader, if we want to become a disciplined trader, if we want to make sure that we keep our profits and we keep our drawdowns low and small and short, then we have to be very consistent in how we approach the market. So we're approaching it with a perspective of fearfulness and gratitude. Like, I'm fearful of just taking any random trade. That's how I feel. I'm more fearful of taking the wrong trade than the right trade. I have to focus on the stop loss being hit and where the stop loss would be. So if I take a trade in the middle of the range, stop loss probability is super high to get hit. Mind you, this is a small range too. So you could have a stop below the whole low for 5 points. It could be that. But why would I do that when I believe if we're going to go lower, should sweep these equal lows, at least the data low and the macro low. And then it'll be an easier target to hit previous day's high again, which will go in conjunction with the thought process of the third or fourth bounce off previous day's high, which I believe to be possible because we're rejecting currently on the second one. So maybe on the third, we might hit it for the third time or the fourth time. So there's a potential for us to buy up with the trend to get that on a bullish day. So we just prepare for that scenario. We're at the 50% of this macro. So this macro I'm talking about is the 110 to 140 macro. It looks like we're at the 50% of it. I won't be buying there because that's just a consolidation range. I'm not buying within that. I want to see us take the low, and I'll potentially buy depending on how price action looks. Um, if I did take the sell off previous day's high, it could have been a 5 point trade. I guess it would have been up. No, 5 points is still right here, so eventually could have got the 5 points, but just on a bullish day, I'm very hesitant with that trade, especially just how we wick it. It doesn't give me like good price action levels to actually do it, other than just having a limit on the level. And sometimes a limit like that might not even get filled. So I'm not gonna get butthurt about it or be upset or sad. But if you want to be a successful day trader, you gotta have better patience. That's really what it comes down to: being patient in the decisions you make, in the entries, the orders. I'm gonna review my performance for today. One of the key errors I made today was not trading an under, or not being present at the market before the 10 o'clock push. If I was here at the 9:30 push, there's a potential I could have caught sells or flipped to buys here at the 9:52 level. Um, but it's really not a big deal as long as I manage my risk either by not trading or taking my actual A plus setup, right? So the A plus setup that I would want is not so much the sell. It could be this sell, these two sells, but I want the buy because we're bullish. So if someone had put a buy stop here, hi Bryson, it may not have worked. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Not much going on. Not really much going on, but we still show up. We try to be honest. We showed up at 10. We showed up at 2. Today it looks like if we made to show up a little bit earlier in AM to get what we wanted. because there was no major news in AM. So I guess the early pre-market setups were the best, and then after two, I thought there would be like, more liquidity, more volume, in the market or whatever. But at this time, it looks like probably just gonna have like an end of day macro push that's kind of extreme. And if not, then we're just gonna consolidate the whole day and trap people. So, if you want to analyze for yourself, go analyze for yourself. If you want to be here, be here. But realize that all I'm showing today is patience. You just gotta have patience. So like we're overall bullish, but we're patient. We're overall bullish, but we're patient. Yeah, so I don't see anything that I really like right now. And so it's just a thought process of it's a thought process of patience. If you don't see anything good, you can even cut off the stream in a sense. Like I might turn it off, but I'm gonna wait by three and change. If there's nothing happening by three and change, I might just be done for the day. Not exciting, um, but it's realistic. Like that's what trading looks like if we're being realistic. It's not this perfect fanfare. It's a hawkish session because at 220 it should have moved. Yeah, at 220 we assumed it would do something. All the news, all the stuff, but what's probably going to happen is we're going to just shoot up, and the only good buys would have been down here, this anything under that level, and then maybe here. But who cares? Sorry, if it's not a perfect setup at this point, I don't even want it. I'll just sit on stream talking. But it's consolidation. Like, yeah, there's price action stuff, but like, wake up. This is just consolidation. It's bullish overall. It doesn't mean that we can't take this low and still be bullish because when you look at the grand scheme of things, we're still respecting this entire bullish push up. We haven't hit 50% of the whole push up. We never pulled back to 50% yet. So there's a potential where we could pull all the way back here, maybe tomorrow. That fair value gap is left untested. It could be a breakaway gap for today and then a gap we fill in another day, maybe weeks from now, maybe months. And that's why I don't like too much using the fair value gaps and all that kind of shit because it's good. I've made a lot of money, six figures off it, but recently I've noticed just you can become blindsided. I think what was making me very successful with fair value gaps was that I only traded them between like 9:30 and 11:30. So if I came in the market and I'm seeing this, like this candle 9:33, I could have sold this in the past and then made a profit, or I could have bought this one and made a profit. So it's not that fair value gaps aren't great. It's just when you're looking at them has to be analyzed very, very strategically. So if you're looking at this fair value gap and it doesn't fill, it's like, oh, you're done. And then it's like, wait, but there's a volume imbalance right here. There's a volume imbalance, right? Could have used that. Or here's like, this is an order block. You can find every concept, reason to get in, and all this type of stuff. But that's why I kind of separated from just the price action to move it to a levels based theory to let the levels kind of guide you in a sense of what you should be doing. Um, which has its pros and cons. Sometimes you miss what you perceive to be obvious trades after the fact, but during the trading, you realize. So we still did we take the data low yet? I'm not even sure if we took the data low yet. Data low is here, so we didn't even take the data low. Should erase all this again. I don't mind erasing everything. Oh no, let me undo that because I want to save one part of it. I want to save this. Excuse me. So we can erase the other stuff. We took the data low. So what this is telling us, right? The first previous day high trade sell would have worked, right? It's hindsight, but it is what it is. The second previous day high sell would have worked, right? And now we're below this data low. We're below these macros, this macro. We're close to this macro. So potential buy for me may be taking place to get in alignment with continuation bullish. Potential buy may be taking place. There's just the thing that would mess with me is that there's equal lows here, and my ego kind of wants all the equal lows to be ran to even consider it. So we'll see. But the previous day high, if you took a sell off of it, you'd have had your 5 points eventually. And then if you took it before, of course, you'd have had your 5 points. There's multiple avenues of looking at the 5 points and seeing if you could have got it off of an A setup, which would be the levels A, A, right? It sucks because we're bullish, so we end up having to take a B setup potentially off of a macro because overall we're bullish. So it's hard for me to just take those sells knowing any point we could rip up. If I look at another chart just to confirm some stuff, MNQ, MNQ just touched previous day's high, looked like it found support there, so maybe that's enough. Or maybe we go below previous day's high on MNQ and then we go even lower on MES. But as far as A and B and C setups, like this would be a B setup. Currently, we're at the macro low. But the way that MNQ is looking, looks like we're gonna head even lower. So I'll just be cognizant of that and not chase it just going bullish. I kind of want to see the sweep, the full sweep of this to give me confirmational bias. I know we swept the data low, but if it shoots up, I missed that trade. Kind of makes sense, but hmm, not perfect. Overall bullish, but patient. We want to sweep that liquidity, and then that'll be a great potential buy up if it starts to slow down. Even this wick, if this wick is respected, which looks like we're kind of respecting it, I would hate to lose on this B from here though when there was an A from here. So again, probably hold it till we actually sweep the lows and get us closer to another macro. So we took the data high, the data low, taking this macro low here, took this macro low here. Let's see if we can buy off this macro high after we sweep, if we do sweep. Now, if we just melt, then I'll just leave it, but can't be too hasty with the buys because, yes, we are bullish, but setting up for the last bullish push could be a deep bearish pullback. What else am I looking at? YM. whatever MES. It looks like we should get to those equal lows. Okay, we're getting closer. Um, Ooh, that can kill somebody. That's crazy. Doo -doo -doo -doo. Sell off. Here it is. So we swept those equal lows right there. Is it gonna reverse? Looks like we may be reversing off those equal lows. What does NQ look like? YM. NQ is right above previous day's high. Might buy this here. I'm gonna buy this with a 5-point stop.
Order filled.
Bought with a 5-point stop. We got below the equal lows I wanted. I want to see if we go back bullish above the macro. I saw that NQ was kind of going back above previous day's high, which kind of gave me confirmation a little bit. Let's see if we can get a bit higher. See if we can get back bullish. I think we can. Honestly, I think we can. So let's see if we do. If we don't, we get stopped. If we do, we don't get stopped. Simple as that.
Order submitted.
I think the 5-point stop there is good just because we swept the lows. So I want to see us at least have a mean reversion trade back up, considering we're bullish on the day. And then where the way NQ was looking, it looks like we were above the previous day's high. So I was hoping that we would hold there. And then ES would also follow suit to shoot back up. It could be a retest sell off of NQ previous day's high, so that would also make this a sell off anyway. But 5 points here. We'll see if we get it. If we don't, we don't. Could melt. It could shoot up. I'm hoping since we swept the lows, we'll get a push up. Let's see if we can get it just a bullish push up because we're bullish on the day. This could be an incorrect trade, but we're in it. We're thinking about it. We're looking at it. I'm bullish on the day. We swept that low. We're below the macro. I'm basically trading against the previous day high sell, so that's not good. Let's see if we lose. If we lose, we close it up. Hoping we go up. It's not looking good. If I'm being honest, it's not looking good at all. May have haphazardly bought it. Let's see if we can get that reversal I'm looking for to go up. What is NQ doing? If NQ is melting off, it's not good. NQ is now under previous day's high, so that's not good. Ugh. Very ugly, very bad. Come on, let's see if we can get a push up. If we lose, we're gonna close the stream there and call it a day. What's the probability? Ugh, it's ugly. Very ugly. Very ugly. Trading against the higher time frame trend in terms of us selling off previous day's high. But looking at MNQ, I was hoping we were finding support that would allow ES to also go up. Let's see if it works. Looks like it's not working. We got our stops in place. If we get stopped, we get stopped. Wasn't the best trade. Probably should have tried to take the previous day high trade, but we didn't take it. Come on. A return back to the 50% of the range would be enough also to potentially close this. Can we get a bullish push up, or are we just gonna melt? Let's see. We're under previous day's high on MNQ. I don't like that. See if we get above it. Come on. We need. It sucks. We need like hyperbolic movement to save us in this trade, but we manage the risk. If we lose, we lose. We close it up. We're gonna practice losing and closing it up. If we do, if we don't, then we just close it up because it's a PM session trade. I don't want to be chasing, trying to fix some shit. I'm trying to get in alignment with the bullish bias. Under the macros, we swept equal lows that were there for a while. NQs seem to be holding support on previous day high. So if MNQ can, ES can at least get back to previous day's high, that would be smooth for us. Let's see if we can get higher. What's the probability? There's a possibility. The probability for me, I feel like it should work because we swept that relative equal low. We're bullish on the day. We're within the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock window. We should push up and then create a wick. So I want to get out as we're pushing up. I want it to be bullish. I said that from before, so I can't cry about that. Let's see if we can get back into the range of the macro. That'll give us more confidence about this trade. Let's see. It'll be beautiful if we can just shoot up from here. MNQ is above previous day's high. I'm hoping it'll stay there. Let's see if that fair value gap, if we're going to use it to go up or not. It's not looking good, to be honest. MNQ is playing a lot of games. That might have been a bad call on my part. But we're in the buys. We've got the stop loss in place. We just got to sit through this trade and see if we have a potential for it to work out. I don't like MNQ. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be better, but I don't like how it's looking. It could melt down. See if we get back above. There's a potential we go back above. It's not my favorite trade. Not gonna lie, it's not my favorite, but I want it to be bullish. I thought this level would be a great level to be bullish. If we lose this, we close it out for the day. The issue is NQ hasn't swept them. It's data low, so maybe it has to sweep the data low. while ES already did it. So I thought, okay, maybe we would reverse higher, but we could have got in when it was going short, but we got in to go long. Let's see if we get a return back, at least to the entry and slightly above it. We're in a fair value gap. Hopefully that gets inverted. MNQ looks like it's going bearish, so this doesn't look good. We need ES to go bullish so that we can be saved out of this trade. Let's see if ES will go bullish. We're honoring the stop loss. I wish that I didn't enter as big of a contract as I did on some accounts, but it's kind of too late already. But that's a trading error that I have to work on. Not on the account on the screen, but a different account. The lot size copier was just a little bit higher than I'd like for this type of trade because it's a B setup. So I prefer not to lose that much on a B if we take a loss, but trade's already in place. We're just holding it for now. MNQ seems to be going a little bit bullish. Hopefully it can stay above that previous day's high and not just reject it. Let's see. It's not looking the best. The reason being we're rejecting the macro high as well on NQ. I don't like that. May have jumped the gun on this trade. See if we can get a bit higher. Come on. Come on. Flip bullish. Looking at MNQ, looking at ES. Need MNQ to go back bullish above the previous day's high. That would give us more confidence. Need ES to close above the go above the entry where I actually entered. Funny enough, to even give me some kind of confidence, but it's not looking good. Let's see. Too early. Could be just completely wrong. Yeah, NQ looks like it's melting. ES. Come on. What I saw in NQ doesn't make sense anymore. I might need to close this position unless ES can actually flip. Oh, it's not flipping. But it looks like NQ almost swept the news low, so maybe NQ sweeps the news low and then everything reverses, and then ES just shoots up. Could be ES could just melt off and hit the stop. Um, let's see if we get the reversal up since we hit the news low. I'm not liking this trade. It's unfortunate. I want it to be bullish, buying below the sweep of liquidity on ES as well. The macros basically hit the macro high for a bullish push. Let's see if we can get the bullish push or if we're just wrong. MNQ does not look good. Come on. Fortunately, but just master taking a loss if we have to today. We've got the position on there. We've got the risk dialed in. We're sitting on our hands, basically just in the position. No scale ins at this point. We've put the buy stop there, so if it shoots up, we will be scaled in. Let's see if we're correct, but that's the problem. We want to just be right, or we want to make money. We don't care about being right. So let's see if we can make some money, and not get attached to what we thought the market might do. What's MNQ doing? MNQ looks like it's kind of going bullish. Let's see if we can just shoot up heavily on MNQ, and that might give us our room on ES to go bullish, considering we've already kind of swept the news low in a sense, not fully, but kind of. Damn, we just hit the previous day's high, kind of rejecting it. I want to see us stay above it. That'll give us more confidence for the ES trade. See if we can get back to it and stay above it. Can we? I think we might be able to. That doesn't look good right there. Deep pullback. See if we can go up. Oof. NQ looks like it's going up. ES looks like it might go up as well.
Order submitted.
I added another buy stop up here, so let's see if we can just shoot up. It may not happen at all because NQ already hit previous day's high and rejected it twice now. I'm trying to see if we can go above it and stay above it. And then ES, it just looks like we might be making a new low, so it looks terrible. Not embarrassed, but the trade isn't the best. Would the 5-point get stopped? Let's see. Go bullish, save us. Go bullish, save us. Come on. It keeps teasing like it's gonna go up, but looks like it's struggling heavily. Supposed to be bullish on the day. This is probably the last few minutes of it actually potentially working out, or before hitting stop if it doesn't work out. Let's see if it works out. We can get above the entry at least and maybe close break even. We would love for it to shoot higher, but it's just not, the trade's not going our way at this point. MNQ seems to be potentially going into a free fall. Let's see. Yes, I need you to go up. Now, if we do go up, there's a lot of wicks there, so we would have to go aggressively up, or else those wicks are going to send us down. The probability is not very high, so I don't like that. I may close this position right now as a loss. I have to really consider this mentally really quickly. We may have a shoot up, but I may want to close this loss early. What is MNQ doing? MNQ is sitting below previous day's high. Hella wicks, sending it away from previous day's high. I wanted us to be close above it. Let's see if we can get above it really quickly. We're going back into those wicks. Let's see if we can go above it. See if we can go above it on MNQ so that ES can actually shoot higher. NQ's at it again. NQ's at the high again. Can it close above it? It's opening above it. This could be a good sign. Okay, we're getting close back to the original entry. Let's see if we can get the bullish momentum to push us up. Bullish momentum to push us up. Come on. We need the bullish momentum to push us up. We're generally targeting the 50% level. We got to get past that, so that's right here. So I'll put a limit order here, so that way if we
Order
just shoot up
submitted.
there, we get some profit off of it, and then maybe we can reassess, see if we can get to that 50% level. Tough trade, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, MNQ is above previous day's high. Now we have to get above these equal highs right here on both MNQ and ES to actually have a winning trade. What's the probability? We're bullish on the day. We're above previous day's high on NQ. I want to see ES get to that previous day's high. Let's see if we can get that. Let's see if we can get that. We're at the macro low. Let's see if we can just shoot past that, pretending that the macro low is a buy stop area. Let's see if we can get past that. See if we can get there. Have a lot of hope, faith, not sure about, but we're above previous day's high on NQ, so I think we should be able to at least take the equal highs on NQ, and if we could do that, then ES may take these equal highs as well. We need to see how we react in that fair value gap where that sell limit is. Hopefully the price doesn't just sell off here. Hopefully it actually continues to go up. Let's see. See if we can get a bullish push up. This is what we were kind of expecting in a sense. I may have entered a little bit too early.
Order filled.
Okay, price is going up. See if we go further up. We can get back to 50% of the range and take off a position there. Come on. I think we will. We just got to be really, really, really patient.
Order
All
filled.
right, we got the extra orders all entered in. Now let's see if we can get to a profit and close that. Let's see. Not looking the best, but looking better than before. Why do we think we're going up? We're at the macro. Maybe we're finding support at this macro right here to go up. We could be selling off it, but I'm thinking that we're finding support to go bullish. The first limit is coming off at the 0.5 level. See if we can get that. The entry was a little bit too early, so it wasn't the best entry relative to where we are currently. All right, this is a lot of pressure mentally, but we're sitting in it. We've just scaled in a little bit more than I would like, but again, we're expecting this to be bullish. Let's see. See if we can get bullish. We did a market structure shift. We've now retested. I want to see us go bullish. I don't want to see a continuation down sell. I want to see a reversal of bullish to be a continuation of the bullish day. I'm not looking for a sell trade. I'm looking for a bullish momentum up. It's not looking the best. Someone's calling me. Yo, I'm in a trade. I'm gonna have to call you back. Yo, I'm in a trade. I'm gonna have to call you back. I'm gonna call you back. All right. All right. Let's see if this goes up. NQ is going up. So why isn't ES going up? NQ is almost at a new high. I need ES to at least get to its previous high, and then that'll give us a lot more confirmation. I mean, we'll be in profit versus forget confirmation. We're trying to actually win the trade. So let's see if we can get above where we currently are. Like how NQ is. NQ is high, relatively speaking. ES is stalling. I'm kind of leaning a little bit too much on SMT for this trade, but NQ seems to be going bullish, so hopefully ES follows suit, and these are just pullbacks. It's not. I'm not the happiest right now at all because ES is reacting violently. Ah, shit. Go up. Go up, ES. Stop playing with me. Deep retracement. Hopefully that was all we needed to then go up. Let's see if that's all we needed to go up. That might have been where we should have bought the first buy when it shoots up and then it does a deep retracement. Now hopefully that deep retracement just sends price up. What did we do wrong? Oh, we scaled in too many times. We scaled in too many times. We entered too early and we scaled in prematurely. So that's a bad sign. Let's see if NQ can actually keep going up so that ES can take the SMT and go up. Let's see. I think it will. MQ seems to be going up. Let's see if ES could follow. Leaning too much on SMT, that's not good. That's honestly not good. We scaled in too fast. and the entry was actually bad. So I should have left the scalings off, if I'm being honest. Just based on where the entry was, it wasn't the best entry. See if we can go parabolic up to vindicate us. Unfortunately, to make us feel better, but let's see if we can go up. Bullish. Supposed to be bullish on this. Overall, I'm bullish. I want to see us go bullish. NQ is going bullish. I would like for ES to take off bullish to try to catch up to NQ. NQ is above previous day's high. I would like for ES to at least reach that 50% level, if not the full previous day's high level. That candle moving is a good confirmation that we may be going up. As you can see, with all the contracts I've entered, I'm not in profit on these accounts until we're above those levels. So bad entry followed by bad scaling, but the stop was honored. So potentially this could be a good trade still as far as honoring your stop loss and the TPs. Let's see if we can get that first TP off at that 50% level. I'm assuming that we will be able to. Let's see. Come on. I want us to use that volume imbalance to go up, not down. I want us to have a continuation bullish because we're overall bullish on the day. I want us to shoot up and then we take profit and then we create a wick to then end the day on. Let's see. And we're gonna go bullish based on my thought process. Let's see. A little uncomfortable right now mentally, just because I scaled in a little bit too prematurely and the entry wasn't the best entry. That's a rule that I'm gonna have to work on. If I have a bad entry, there's no scale-ins allowed. I'm gonna have to edit my game plan just to make sure that I include that and my report card as well. So let's see if we can go up. We're having some stalling on MNQ. Let's see if we still can go up on ES. ES is stalling as well at this macro low. I want us to go above this macro low. I want to see us shoot up. I want to see us go up. It's not looking good if I'm being honest. I still want to see us go up based on me believing we're bullish, being under these equal lows, the macro lows. NQ it found like it was finding support on previous day's high. So I was hoping ES could also find support at its current levels on an SMT tip. We have a fair value gap that kind of pushed price up. We want to see if it holds price up and doesn't get invalidated. Let's see if we can get into a profit. It's really hurts. This trade really hurts. I scaled in prematurely on a bad initial entry. So let's see if we can go up. See if we can go up. Think we may be going up. Come on. We're sitting in it. We're sitting in it. We're hoping for the best. We're sitting in it. We're sitting in it. We're hoping for the best. We scaled in poorly at the top of where we currently are, so it's not the best scale ins. Hopefully we can be redeemed by just a big bullish push up. NQ seems to be shooting up. ES, I don't know why you wouldn't shoot up. I'm gonna raise this sell limit to this what's it called, range right here, so that way if it does follow suit like NQ, we get a little bit more room on there. Let's see. This NQ seems to be going to its highs. We want to see if ES can at least get to its 50% level. See what we can get. This will technically be the retest entry we should have taken because it's above the level to retest it instead of just having the buy stop there. What I got to stop doing is putting the buy stops just anywhere above the price. I got to actually trail the down close candle and put the buy stop at the top of the down close candle. I do think we're going to take this 50% level, so hopefully that can get us into a profit of like a scaled out profit. Let's see what happens. We're still just watching it. Still watching.
Order filled.
Okay, it took one entry off there. Let's see if we go higher. So a lot of anticipation. Now NQ swept its highs, so that might be a bad sign. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark it out of two of these. I'm gonna mark it out of a few of these over here, just to be safe. So we secured a small profit. We're still holding a few positions on there. Let's see if it'll go higher. Is there a good reason to close? NQ swept its highs. ES hasn't swept its highs. Let's see if ES actually can sweep its highs. So move the limit up. Let's see if ES can sweep its highs. It might not. And NQ sweeping its highs might be a sign that ES might not sweep its highs. So this may be a reason to close the trade. But I am thinking that, okay, we don't even need all these limits on here. We just need this one up here. So let's see if we can go a little bit higher. Can we shoot up, or is NQ going to melt back down because we swept the high, and then ES melt back down because we NQ SMT'd the high, or is ES going to sweep the high as well, and then we have room? Let's see if we have room. Looks like we may have room. Uh, Not angry, just not fully pleased with this trade and how I managed it, but let's see if we can squeeze out just a little bit more profit. We're above the 50% level. I want to see if we can just stay high, going higher, because but NQ already swept its high, so um, what's the probability? Not my favorite pullback. Maybe should have closed the full position. We're touching back the discount 50% level. Let's see if it just shoots up from there because of a retest of the 50% level. I'm hoping that's what it does. It just shoots up. NQ still looks like it's going bullish. So we may have a chance for this to actually just keep running. And we just trail the stop a little bit higher. I mean, we put the stop a little bit higher, or the limit. Let's see if this works. We're gonna tighten up the stops on this. We're gonna tighten all these stops. So the stop on this is tighter, and then the limit is up here at new price action highs. Let's see if this will work out for us. I think it will. NQ's made a new high. ES seems to be pushing to make the new high. What I can do is I can go break even. So I can just put a buy. Well, wait, let me just adjust it here. I could go break even like this with one contract, and then I can bring the other one up too, technically. So now we're break even. If price retraces back to the entry that we can see on the screen, that'll be it, and then we'll be done for the day. But I think we're gonna take those highs, seeing as how NQ took its highs. I'm expecting ES to take its highs, or at least get closer to the higher part of the range. Trail one of the contracts a little bit more aggressively than the other. Let me make sure I'm risk free on across all accounts, just to call it a day. As far as risk goes, I don't have to actually keep on the entire level of risk. It's not necessary at this point, because if my trade is going to work out, it should run to those highs. Let's see. We're at the 75% level. It could be a deep retracement here or just continuation to the highs. Let's see if we get the continuation to the highs like we wanted. Come on. Part of me wants to close this so bad. But we waited patiently for that bullish trade. I didn't read any comments. What are you guys saying? Oh, hella people saying shit. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we did it. We're all in it. I might close it. I don't like this weakness candle. I might close it right here. Or I'm gonna take off one. I took one more
Order
off,
canceled.
so that way, worst case scenario, I took most of the profit off the table. I'll take two off on this other account. Two off. Bryson, what's up? You here to trade? I sold two by market here, so this limit, whatever this means, take this, take this. What's the problem, buddy? Trying to count? 3, 4. Could close it here. Um, Probably should close it here, or at least break even on it. So, worst case scenario, is this one break even? Worst case scenario, if we come back to that entry, we're taking out. I want to see if we can get to those highs. I just adjusted it over here on because see if you can get to those highs above previous day's high, which it's possible, but thank you for the trade, but it wasn't the best trade, bro. I just managed the risk. It worked out. Um, but yeah, that's how it works, I guess. It's just sometimes you don't have the best entry, and it's like you just doubt yourself terribly. And then my scalings weren't the best because I just put the buy stops above price action. But the thesis was there. Bullish day, sweep the lows in the PM session to go bullish. Now NQ already swept its high, so ES doesn't have to. So I might flatten everything actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna flatten it
Order
all and just
filled.
call it a day. I don't really feel like doing it anymore. We'll be back tomorrow. Um, Not the best trade, but a profitable day. So we'll just tuck that in. We'll tuck that in and we'll just come back another day. But you know, I'm grateful we won. The discipline was there. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Christian, I mean Rocket Trading Group, I really appreciate you. Great trade. We did that. Macamil, price below higher high. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes I'm talking through stuff on the camera to where it seems like I'm super unsure. And that's just like my internal monologue. That's why streaming is lit because you get to see someone's internal monologue live on the screen. So, you got to see me doubting myself, not sure if the trade will work. Then now you got to see me get too overexcited, putting the TP super far. So it's like you got to see all forms of like how a trader can actually overthink or think about some shit. But for the most part, we put up a profit across every account. So we could just end the day there. And we got to consider ourselves lucky because it wasn't even an A plus setup. It was a B setup. And that's kind of noteworthy by the drawdown that I experienced. Sometimes we take trades that, we want it to be whatever it is, but it turns out being something else. So, um, prices retracing. So I'm glad I closed there. But yeah, we bought here initially. If you go in the lower time frame to see it, we bought here. Price retraced heavily. The stop didn't get hit because, again, the stop would be 5 points down. So 5 points would be down here. So stop wasn't hit. Once we got back into profit, I started adding. I should have waited till we had more confirmation, but it worked out, and we closed here for a profit. The heavy reason why I closed is that NQ already swept the highs. So if NQ does decide to melt, ES doesn't have to sweep its highs. That's called SMT. They both don't have to do something. One could do it, and that could be enough for both. And as far as I'm concerned, that was a great decision for me to just close the profits at that point in time. Now it may shoot up still, but I got what I needed for the day, and it was already late PM session, so it's like I kind of want to go do other stuff mentally. And this is a stream as well, so even though I want to act like the stream doesn't affect my trading, it does. I don't want to be sitting here looking like an idiot trying to hold the bag, and then price does something that's kind of obvious, like that I should have gotten out. So we did the best we could do in that situation. What we do now is we screenshot stuff and then we just move to the side. So I just screenshot all my profits and my I'm gonna go add that up. If you have any questions regarding trading, you got my Discord. You can hit me up on YouTube. It wasn't the best trade, but we did it. No, I appreciate you, bro. We did it. We did it. Appreciate you, Rocket. Appreciate you, Macamill. Appreciate everything. It's probably gonna shoot up still, but seeing as how I was looking at the setup, I didn't have a good entry. I scaled in prematurely, so I'll just accept the win without it actually taking the highs. If I get better at leaving runners, maybe I'll let it take the highs, but that's something I'm trying to work on. It's gonna need a lot more practice, but we did what we need to do for the day. So I'm gonna hop off the stream now. I appreciate everybody. I hope everyone has a great day. Take care. Bye bye.